Voice heard on the Bradshaw and Bryan text line. Let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That's 64686. Standard message and data rates apply.
Metallica and Megadeth. Double 13-14 past. Hour number 1 in the books. Hour number 2 begins with 5-3-4 here on the Fan.
Time now for 5 questions. Well, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
Brought to you by Willow River Company.
Question number 1.
We're gonna win, Twins, we're gonna score.
It's now time to delve deep into Twins territory.
Crack out a home run, shout a hip hooray! Cheer for the Minnesota Twins today.
Taj Bradley gave up 1 run over 7 innings, giving up just 3 hits, striking out 10 in the Twins' 3-1 win over the Guardians last night at Target Field. It was his second start of the season with no walks. Cleveland hitters took 24 swings at his cutter, and they missed 17 times, according to StatCast. Bradley has struck out 10 batters in consecutive games, the first Twins pitcher to accomplish the feat since Joe Ryan in April of 2023.
Holy moly.
Comment on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being Muhammad Ali and 1 being Terrified Tenna. What is your confidence level when Taj Bradley toes the rubber for the Twins?
11. He's really, really good. He, apparently, if I read the piece correctly, I think he had some kind of a minor injury issue. And when he came back up, he didn't have the swag that he had. Shelton said he thought the manager thought he was missing the swag, and now he's got his swag back. And he was pumped up on
Stella got his groove back.
Yeah, Stella got his groove back. He's got his groove back, and he's pitching well. And that was quite the assignment because, as I mentioned in the first hour, he was 7-3 with a 3.86 ERA coming into the game. His opponent on the mound for the Guardians was 7.3 with a 3.86 ERA for the season as well. So identical pitching lines or statistics, wins and losses and ERA, and both pitched well. But Taj got the better of it. That's the 10 strikeouts, getting and then what did they? How many swings and misses on was the cutter?
On 24 swings, 17 of them missed his cutter.
I mean, that's lights out pitching. I mean, that's being in total command of what you're doing on the mound. So yeah, it's like how can you? I every time until he goes in the other direction, I have all the confidence in the world in him to answer the question.
Question number 2.
Controversy.
It's time now to consider the course.
The 3M Open announced today that Jordan Spieth will be making his 3M Open debut the week of July 20th through the 26th. Comment at this stage of his career, is Jordan Spieth a big draw, a medium draw, or no draw at all?
For me, it's not that big of a draw. I mean, it's a draw. He's a name. Does he have 4 majors or 3? I think he
had a run there a year or two when he was young.
Yeah, he was the guy. So he certainly is a recognizable name. Anybody that follows PGA Tour golf would know, but it's been a while now, tend to be, and
he's won 3.
What I notice is people that cover golf for a living, they're always doing the old, I really expect Jordan Spieth starting to play a little bit better. I really think it's about time. He's due to I'm expecting him to start playing really and start contending again, and then he just never does. So, but I think it's a draw, certainly. It's not certainly not on the level of Scheffler, but I think, or McIlroy, but I think people do go, oh yeah, he's really good. So yeah,
compared to what we've had here historically,
yes,
he's a good draw.
There's that too. There is that too. So yes, I think he is a draw.
Question number 3. It's time now to take a peek at the pitch.
After Argentina's and Switzerland's wins yesterday, we're down to 8 teams in the World Cup. In the quarterfinals, France will take on Morocco tomorrow. Spain takes on Belgium on Friday. And then it's Norway versus England and Argentina against Switzerland on Saturday. Common, which of these 8 teams will emerge as World Cup champions?
I think Argentina. They're the defending champs. That comeback from down 2-0 at the 79-minute mark, that's a team that's got a lot of heart, Tenneby. They got a lot of want to. And I guess that's probably the easy way out. Oh, you're picking the favorite. Because are they not the favorite, or is it too close?
I thought France was the favorite.
France is the favorite. Okay. I'll still go with Argentina. I will. I don't know what I don't really have a rooting interest. I liked the way Norway played the other day. I don't like the way England played the other day, but it really makes no never mind to me. And then, could you say that?
Yeah, so France is the favorite to win it all. They're plus 180, which is just under 2-1, followed by Spain at plus 370, Argentina at plus 400. Then England at plus 470, and then everyone else is double digits. Norway 15-1, Morocco 28-1, Belgium 30-1, and Switzerland 30-1.
Could you make an argument that you might want to root for Belgium so you can say, well, at least we got knocked out by the World Cup champs?
Well, we were so not even in their
well, that's true.
In their league. It still wouldn't matter. You'd still say, well, we're far away still.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll go with, as a casual, I'll just take Argentina. How about you?
I was thinking France all the way. The way Spain played last game, they look pretty darn good. Argentina's been a little... I feel like there's something off there.
Okay.
They'll probably win again just because they go against Switzerland, but I think I'm cheering for Norway and Morocco. I know that. But, I mean, it's probably going to go down. The top 3 there's a reason they are the betting favorites. They're the 3 best chances: France, Spain, Argentina.
Very good.
Question number 3.
All Vikings, let's win this game. You'll hear us yell for more.
It's now time to take an in-depth look at the state of the skull.
Ben Solak of ESPN.com picked breakout candidates for all 32 NFL teams. For the Vikings, he picked cornerback James Pierre. Here's what he wrote. The Vikings like to rotate cornerbacks on cheap contracts as coordinator Brian Flores' zone-heavy and blitz-happy approach requires fewer snaps of prolonged man coverage than most other defenses. This offseason, they snagged Pierre in free agency after he made some strong spot starts with the Steelers. Pierre had only 219 coverage snaps last season, but his passer rating allowed of 49.8 was second only to Jamal Dean among cornerbacks last season. Dean, ironically, is who the Steelers signed in free agency. It's worth noting that Fabian Moreau was third in passer rating allowed at 50.5 in Flores' defense, but the Vikings still elected to cycle Moreau out for Pierre, who was coached by Flores and passing coordinator Gerald Alexander during their time in Pittsburgh. That's a clear sign they trust him more and might ask for more man coverage accordingly. Common, who would you pick for the Vikings breakout candidate?
I don't know. I don't know if he wouldn't have one. I mean, he makes a compelling... Who wrote that? Zolak?
Ben Solak of ESPN.
He made a compelling case. And if... I will say this. I think we all... Whether you're a Viking fan or just an observer, you like B-Flow. You think he does approach defense where he's aggressive without being reckless. It seems like every player... And if you're playing for a coach, it's probably detrimental to your career if you say, I don't really like playing for this coach. I think he's this making every player have a lot of different roles on the team in the scheme doesn't make any sense. So they're all going to say positive things, but everybody seems to like him. He's highly regarded. And so if he likes a player, and my guess is he had a lot to say with the Vikings signing him, then yeah, I don't see why not. And I think they need that. I mean, I won't argue with that. I think we talked about that Viking poll. The one thing about fans is those that understand the game, I think they see what the Vikings need, and we need obviously better quarterback play. We need a healthy offensive line, and the secondary is still a question mark. And so if you can get, I would hope the guy has a breakout season, and so that he helps the secondary, because it's a passing league, and there's a lot of, Williams has shown he's a dangerous quarterback. Goff's got a lot of weapons, and I like the Jordan Love guys. So there are some good passing attacks within the division, so you need a secondary. So yeah, I hope he's right, but
there's opportunity back there. I would have guessed Dallas Turner, but I guess maybe, is Dallas Turner established after last year? I'm not quite sure he is, but the opportunity he's going to get, I would have picked Dallas Turner.
Yeah, very good. That makes sense.
And that's it for today's edition of 5 Questions. Well, actually 3 questions, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
My favorite segment of the week is up next. Brian Oake and Rock Talk. 534 brought to you by my friends at the Willow River Company. They are your outdoor living experts. Family-owned operation. They treat you like family. You can join their family. They have over 10 certified arborists on staff to help you with the health of your trees. They'll do irrigation installation and maintenance. They'll do ongoing plant bed maintenance, elite lawn care program, mowing, seasonal yard cleanups, and so much more. I trust them with my landscaping and my yard work. I think you will too. Reach out today. WillowRiverCompany.com. That's WillowRiverCompany.com. Brian Oake is next on Rock Talk here on The Fan.
Coming up next, Brian Oake joins the Common Man for Rock Talk on The Fan.
From the 1-800-ASK-GARY.
We'll have the quarterfinal match on, tons of games and prizes, and of course, great drink specials. The party starts at 2 p.m. We'll see you this Friday at McHugh's and Savage.
Couple 13-14 past. I'm Common. He's 10 to be. And looky here. Brian Oake joins us for Rock Talk. Now, I had a debate with somebody, and it got ugly.
Really?
They said, you're doing a podcast. I said, no, he's not. I wouldn't know that. Are you doing a podcast?
I am, in fact.
You are.
It's an award-winning podcast,
Yeah.
Silver Award-winning podcast, thanks to the good people over at MSP Mag. Yeah, just literally came from recording another episode 588, featuring local legends, the Silver Teens, legends from being in many other bands, but for the last handful of years they've been doing this, and they got a new EP coming out on Friday. And yeah, we sit down, we talk about Minnesota music, and largely, we've had some other guests on there, other topics, but if you're into the Minnesota music scene, both historically and currently, it's a good place for real conversations. It's just a chance to kind of cut loose. Probably not for the littlest kids, because we do kind of, we don't really watch the swearing like we do here on good FCC regulated places, since we don't have to. We don't go out of our way to be shocking or weird or heavy, but, every once in a while, the occasional.
It'll slip into the
It does. It's just,
English
it's like
language,
regular conversation in the real world, but we get to talk about music. We get to feature a ton of great music. Every guest that's on the podcast has to pick 3 songs they want to feature. And so there's always different music, always different perspectives. And it's a lot of fun to do. So yeah, and there's a handful. We actually get pretty great numbers. I'm kind of surprised by how many people listen, but, it's good. I wanted to make sure and tell you something, in my day-to-day life when I go around, I also am coming off of doing a 30-year drive time career in radio, both mornings and afternoons, in a major market, right? I've got my own story to tell. The only thing that anybody that I'm just meeting for the first time and puts 2 and 2 together that I'm Brian Oake, the only thing they ever say to me, love you, Uncommon. Love Jan Common. And then they go on to, now, is Common really golfing that much? What's Common like? And one of my favorites is, since it's literally happening right now, does Common really eat his lunch on the air? And I said, well, that's the beauty of it, is that it's both a bit, but he's also getting a healthy lunch in every single day while he does it. See, he's married two things that no one would ever think you could ever get away with, or probably should be able to get away with, yet here we are. So I just want you to know that the thirst, the hunger, like you have for your lunch every day, for the knowledge of the common man, the inside scoop it's immense. It is all pervasive, and I'm not giving up any of your secrets, okay? I just want to let you know that I'm in the camp. I'm part of the Commonwealth, and if they want to know, they can listen.
Somebody said in a text message, they said, what would it take for me to play golf with you? That would be the hottest ticket in town.
Exactly. You joke, but I hate to break it to you. Like, I mean, people that I would never guess. I even get people who don't know who I am. But they've heard me talk about working at the radio or the record store in Hopkins. They'll come in like, hey, you're the guy that works with Common, aren't you? Like, haven't heard my name, couldn't pick me out of a lineup. Gun to their head, they wouldn't be able to come up with my name. But man, do they love you. Your numbers must be excellent right now.
The report cards have been very good.
Good. Well, I'm letting you know that
it's awful nice of you to say you didn't have to do any of that.
Well, I didn't have to do any of it, but it's every time. It's all the time. It's almost daily when I'm at the record store, out and about. The thirst to be closer, the desire to touch the hem of the garment of Common Man is very real. That's something that happens in the Twin Cities in my life with some regularity.
Now, thank you.
You're welcome.
That was very well said, too.
Yeah, well.
And I didn't write a word of it.
No, it was all off the top of my head. I didn't write anything down, but people, man, inquiring minds want to know.
So here's the best news I have. As you know, on the Grum, we don't do a lot of guests. I mean, I don't even consider you a guest. You are a co-host.
Contributor, friend of the show.
Yeah, a friend of the show.
Yeah.
I'll have occasionally Chip Scoggins will drop by. And then we have, people play Program Password. I guess they are considered guests as well. But like, regularly scheduled guests, a coach or a player, we don't do those kinds of things. Every once in a while, I will step away from that comfort zone of me just talking about myself, which I really don't like to do, but people apparently want to hear about it. That's
apparently they do.
I have booked a musician that will be I will be interviewing on August 4th by the name of Jim Messina.
Wow.
Of Loggins and Messina.
For real.
He is going to be at the Dakota Jazz Club. He's doing a 2-night stand on the 24th and 25th of August, and I'm going. And I had a chance to talk to the salesperson here, who's the sales rep for
Dakota.
The Dakota, when they do advertising here at iHeart. And they say Jim would be delighted to do an interview.
Are you excited about it?
Very excited, because I love Jim Messina.
Yeah.
I mean, Loggins and Messina is probably this side of Simon and Garfunkel, my favorite duo of all time. As a matter of fact, in the first half of the 70s, they were the biggest selling musical duo in rock music, popular music, only to be surpassed in the second half of that decade by Hall & Oates.
Which makes sense, right?
And you and I have talked about this before. I like Hall & Oates, but Loggins and Messina, I prefer much more than Hall & Oates, because I think Loggins and Messina's music was much more cerebral. And I think Hall & Oates, they're really good, but a lot of just, you're out of touch, kiss some, and this real poppy songs.
They got poppy, but I mean, if you spend time with their catalog, and by no means am I trying to sway your opinion, but I think that Hall & Oates they're a sophisticated band. Musically they wrote great stuff, but your point is well taken. And I think because they didn't necessarily crank out giant hits in the way that certain bands did, like their songs don't come back up in movies that are trying to do a cute, kitschy throwback thing, right? Like they're not as much of a part of as big a part of the conversation as they probably should be when we talk about the music of the 70s. They're absolutely there, and people who were there know, and people who know about the 70s know. But to the average person who's like, well, sure, I've heard of Sly and the Family Stone, or sure, I've heard of Hall & Oates. Jim Messina is not a household name to a ton of people out there.
No, he started he was with Buffalo Springfield for a short period of time.
Yeah.
Then he was with Poco. He was one of the founding members, and then he left, and he didn't want to. And we'll talk about this one. And what we're going to do is I'm going to interview. Here's the best part. So they said, well, how long do you want him for? 15, 20 minutes. I go, I want to be prepared for an hour. Jim likes to talk. So,
Fantastic.
and I'm not going to do the whole hour here because, again, if I do a whole hour.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Say, if there's 100 listeners out there and that's stretching it, do I have 100? Let's say I do.
Yeah, you do.
Probably 95% of them don't know who Jim Messina is or wouldn't be that interested. So we'll just play a little bit of the interview and then, hey, if you want to hear more, you go to.
And that's how you do it. I mean, in the nature of what you've got here, is this a very long-winded way of telling me I'm bumped that day? Is that what that?
No, because we are going. It's going to be a Tuesday.
Nice.
I'm interviewing him, and we're just going to play, like I say, a snippet of it. So you're not bumped in any way.
Why don't you? I mean, if he's got an hour and he's feeling like an affable sort, why don't you drag him into the studio and get a couple songs?
He's not going to be in town then.
What?
He's in town.
You're doing the okay. I got it. All right, very good. Because to me, after my long, many years, 15, 16 years at Cities, that was by far my favorite part of the job is doing those Studio C performances.
Right.
Because then you get that insight, you get the connective tissue, you get the background, you get all the fun stories and the cool things that you've always wondered about. But then to sit there and watch living legends perform 10 feet from you there's nothing else.
We did that with Gary Lewis of the Jayhawks at the State Fair one year.
Oh yeah.
And I did a Dylan duet with him, and I didn't do very well. I was very nervous. I didn't do as good a Dylan impression as I normally do. I was almost going into my own voice.
But you know that he didn't care. I mean, I still remember the day that Gary Lewis was in Studio C, and I was walking him out. We'd wrapped it up. It had been fine. He can be kind of a quiet, reserved dude, but a brilliant musician, obviously. And we were on our way out, and we were walking literally right down this hallway here, just outside the cozy confines of the KFAN main studio. And he stopped, and he said in a real quiet, hushed voice, "Is that the Common Man in there right now?" And he got, this is not someone who gets weird or starstruck.
He wanted to touch the hem of the garment.
He absolutely did. And he was so reticent. I'm like, well, I know him. I mean, we could probably just pop our head in there if we wait for the microphone to go off. And we did. And you two met, and the rest is history. But you should know that even a musical great, a hometown hero like Gary Lewis, lives a little bit in awe of the magic that you create.
Did he ask you if I really ate my lunch on the air?
He did not. He did not. But the other people did. The other thing I wanted to ask is, am I getting a weird echo in my headphones?
That's just the empty spaces inside.
Is that what? Because I don't have any hyper-reflective screens behind me.
Hyper-reflective.
Your mic sounds great.
But see, it sounds great to you, but it sounds different in my headphones. I do hear an echo.
Hyperactive gamma ray sound bouncing.
It's probably because I'm bouncing my voice off those screens, and they're coming all the way back over here.
Those that are fans of Jim Messina already know the story, but see, that was an accidental partnership.
Yeah.
He was tired of touring, and he was tired of this. He wanted to just be a record producer. And Clive Davis, and I'm going to ask him about Clive Davis. We talked about Clive Davis, who just died.
Yeah.
Last couple of weeks, Clive Davis, legendary in the music business, right? He discovered all these artists.
Everybody.
And he got Jim Messina to help. Kenny wanted to do a solo career, right? And so, but Jim ended up being so involved getting the musicians, writing the music, singing and stuff. He said, maybe I should just be, and he didn't really want it. He goes, but I just think it might be better if I'm with him. And so they called the album Kenny Loggins and Jim Messina Sitting In. And it was so good that Clive Davis said to him, he said, you guys need to partner because chances like this only come to one in a lifetime. And sure enough, they had like a 6-7 year run where they were on the top of the charts.
Put out tons of records, had really a very, very successful act for the first half of the 70s.
16 million records sold. That's a large amount of records.
Not bad.
We'll take a break. More Rock Talk with Brian Oak Tinneby and Common on the other side of the break here on The Fan.
Brian Oak returns for more Rock Talk with the Common Man next on The Fan.
The biggest muscle car party of the year is coming to the Minnesota State Fairgrounds July 17th through the 19th. The Street Machine Nationals, and you can be there. Enter now for your chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets at KFAN.com, keyword contest.
Did you say it's the largest, what was it?
It's the biggest muscle car party of the year.
How many are there? How many muscle car parties are there?
I don't know, but it's the biggest.
This is the biggest.
Yeah. I mean, the car enthusiasts would be able to tell you there's probably dozens, if not hundreds that you could actually go to. But why bother? Once you go to the biggest one and get to see the whole Megillah.
Can you, either confirm or deny a rumor. I was told that you were at Madison Square Garden this weekend.
I was
at
not.
The Taylor Swift. Is it?
Well, listen.
Which Kelsey did she marry? Is it Jason or no?
It'd be Travis.
Travis.
Were you there? Did you get it? Were you extended an invitation?
Early talks were that I was going to be the celebrity officiant, that I was going to get myself ordained and wed them in holy matrimony. Sadly, I had conflicts this past weekend. I had already committed to be the MC out on Lighthouse Island for the Minnetonka Yacht Club, which, by the way, that storm that popped up on 4th of July popped up right over the top of us, almost sunk the island right in the lake. It was quite a spectacle, but up until that moment, everyone was having a lovely day. So no, I was not available, but I understand. Imagine the highest A-listers, like people would be like, well, you know where the wedding is. Come on. They didn't tell anybody till the day before. They said it's going to be in New York. And so people just had to be there. And people were there, and it ended up being at Madison Square Garden. The amount of people that would need to be involved from a security perspective, from a planning perspective, everything. It's just, even if the guests weren't informed, it's hard for me to fathom that they were actually able to keep it as good a secret as they did. Most people had guessed Madison Square Garden, but they had a big place because Taylor, early on, when they were talking to this and all the hype leading up to it, said, you can't just do the 100-person wedding thing. Too many people are going to have their feelings hurt. And so she described the guest list as basically anyone I've ever talked to. And that's kind of who it was. I mean, there were a ton of people there.
Is the ego so big that she thinks people's feelings would be hurt?
But that's just it. They would be hurt. Like if you're a friend, she is so nice and so kind and decent to people. I don't think it's an ego thing. I really believe that she doesn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And well, let's be honest, man. I mean, there would be hurt feelings. It's like, I'm not a big enough celebrity to get invited to this. I'm a big enough celebrity for her to support my work and retweet my the things I put out there. But so I don't.
Well, she also just has enough money that she can, the rest of us have cut-off lists because we can only afford so much.
This is true.
Yes.
It is true.
The rest of us have a certain number because we only have a certain venue we can be in. She can afford Madison Square Garden. She can afford to bring in whoever she wants.
Exactly. So
why did she need to bring in that many people? Why don't you just
because people want to be in her aura?
Well, I know, but can't you just she could have eloped and just had her and his brother and her friend. They could have done it with 10, 12 people and just get in, get out real quick.
What I said before too might have been a little disingenuous. Obviously, there's some ego involved. When you're the biggest pop star on the planet and one of the most recognizable football players in the NFL, which is the biggest game in town, you're used to a certain level of show. And to be quite honest, and I know it's going to sound a little silly, your public expects a certain level of show. There needs to be a little spectacle, and they're both used to it, and this probably was great for them. It sounds like according to everybody, it went very, very well. Adam Sandler was the celebrity officiant because apparently he and Travis are exceptionally tight. So imagine that. Imagine this most sacred of vows, the nuptials of your life till death do us part. And there he is in his shorts and his oversized hockey jersey. I don't think that's how he dressed, although I do think he had a neon hockey jersey on. Hey, quick aside on Adam Sandler. Did you know what a freak he is for pickup basketball games? I knew that he was a fan, but apparently, leading up to the wedding itself, there was a 100-degree heat wave in New York City. He was out not once, but twice the day before playing pickup games, and then afterwards went to Martha's Vineyard after the wedding and stuff to have a little time out there. He called the non-emergency local police number and said, "Hey, Adam Sandler, I just love playing ball. Because he was out in the middle of nowhere, and he said, is there any courts around here?" They directed him to a court, and he showed up and played 3 full 5-on-5 games with a bunch of guys who were just there, and apparently has some skills on. Not a big shooter, but distributes the ball well. Good out there, great on defense. And so Adam Sandler, apparently not somebody you just want to accidentally bump into out on a pickup game.
Apparently he's a free agent too, and the Wolves could use him. Bob Dylan performed right at the new Mystic Amphitheater.
He did on Monday, and I heard from a couple people that was good. But I think anybody who, whether you were there or you watched the live feed that was everywhere for Farm Aid last year, Bob didn't sound good at that. It was just mumbly. He wasn't facing. Sometimes it was hard to tell what the actual song was, if it was even one of his legendary songs. So the only person I know personally that went is my ex-wife. So I reached out to her. I'm like, how was the show? She said, amazing. Crystal clear sound. The venue is great. And those reports continue to keep coming in that the new Mystic Lake venue is absolutely state-of-the-art, top-notch, from the accommodations to the sight lines to obviously the quality of the lineup they're getting in there, but the quality of the sound, the light show. So apparently that was all great. John Doe was the opening act, and he's the main voice behind one of my all-time favorite bands out of Los Angeles, X. These days,
is that a stage name? Because John Doe is always
yes,
that name
exactly.
for,
Yeah, no, because he came out of even though they did more country-influenced and Americana sort of singer-songwritery stuff, they were very much a part of the punk community in L.A. in the late 70s. And so the band's called X. He's called John Doe, kind of speaking to the faceless nature of society.
Sure.
You get it, don't you? But he's got one of the most gorgeous and recognizable voices in American music history, in my opinion. I just love him. So he was great. Kicked things off. Lucinda Williams, still kicking. She's 73, and she recently had a stroke, but apparently not just one so debilitating that she wasn't still amazing and powerful and very well. And then my big concern was, what about Dylan? How did he sound?
Sure.
I mean, he's 85. Certain people at 85 have a hard time having a conversation from a comfortable chair, let alone getting up on stage and entertaining tens of thousands of people. But apparently the band was fantastic. It was groovy rearrangements, a lot of your traditional favorite songs. And this was the important part. She says his voice sounded good and you could actually understand him. So I'd be interested to hear what some of your listeners have to say about that. If anybody was there, heard anything else about the show, because it sounds like it was not only a great evening and everything about the venue is great, but that the show itself was spectacular, up to and including the legend himself, Bob Dylan.
Well, I hope so, because what I find oftentimes, I think, if you're a really big fan of an artist, oftentimes if you ask somebody that went to see him, how was the concert? Oh, it was great. Everything was great.
Right,
and then it's like, well, was it really, or did you want it to be? And just because you were in the presence of it, was the sound really not that good? Was his voice not that good anymore? Like, for instance, when I went to see the Guess Who, they aren't my favorite band of all time, but they brought back a lot of memories. And this, Burton Cummings' voice just isn't there anymore. It's not. I'm not going to pretend it is. I'm not going to go, oh, it was so good. He was so great. They were fine. It was brought back some memories, but they weren't the Guess Who in their prime in 1970.
No, of course not. And they couldn't be. Very few bands trend in that direction. And sometimes, too, even if it's not the greatest show, you're caught up in the moment. It's Dylan. I'm here with thousands of people. This is incredible.
Exactly.
Luckily, my ex-wife is an industry veteran herself, has been through lots of performances, and I believe she would have told me that if it sucked, it sucked. And if she's using praiseworthy words, then, yeah, it was a better show than I think I certainly would have expected. It's one of the reasons I didn't want to go, because whatever that was last year at Farm Aid, that was not great.
That was not good.
But apparently this one much, much better.
You have a couple of other things, because we got to get to Rock Rank too.
Oh, we do. I want not too much. We do have one quick Grum Reaper, Angel of Death thing, and this is not a huge one, nor is it a household name that a lot of people are going to know. But she died way too young, and her brief foray into American music, she'd been a member of British girl groups for her whole career, which would have at that point been about 5-10 years, but then would go on to do more of it afterwards. But her big pop-up here in America, Tenna, do you remember the song Party Rock Anthem by LMFAO?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Of course you do.
Great song.
Well, when you watch the video,
It's a banger.
Every Day I'm Shuffling.
Every day I'm shuffling.
Shuffling, boo, 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 beep, beep. It's a very catchy number. There's a reason it was number one for 6 weeks. But towards the end, there's a female voice that comes in that sings along on the song, and that was Lauren Bennett. And she was something of a B-list pop star diva in the UK. Got onto that song. That propelled the rest of her career. But apparently, and they haven't released the cause of death.
By just going bebop at the end?
Well,
No, that's the music part.
That was the music
I'm
part. No, but dead at the age of 37, which is way too young. And it's not foul play, but no one's really come out yet. The only thing that was ever really in the news was her dad said she had taken some medication last year that she'd had a severe reaction to taking to, and no real details have been revealed yet. But yeah, Lauren Bennett, dead at the age of 37. And then one other thing I had, just a real quick this day in history. It was on July 8th back in 1958. The very first gold record ever handed out by the RIAA, the Recording Industry Association of America, went to who? Who got the very first album that sold 500,000 copies and was recognized by the RIAA? Your thoughts?
Well, you just said the Who. I didn't know that. I wouldn't have guessed the Who.
They weren't around in 1958. Who do you think got the first ever gold certification that was handed out by the RIAA? This date in 1958, so nearly 70 years ago.
Elvis Presley.
Nope.
No, it wasn't Elvis Presley. It would have been, hold on, it was Hank Williams Sr.
It was not. It was the soundtrack to the beloved Rodgers and Hammerstein musical, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
There's a bright golden haze on the meadow, Oklahoma. Oh, what a beautiful morning.
Should have gone to Hank Williams Sr.
And the very first gold single issued by the RIAA, also on this date in 58, Catch a Falling Star by Perry Como. I couldn't name it. I wouldn't know that song if I heard it.
You haven't heard Catch a Falling Star and put it in your pocket, save it for a rainy day?
Maybe. That's the song?
That's it.
All right, very good. Well, it was the first ever gold
Perry
single.
Como song.
Is it? What would name some others that you like?
The bluest skies you've ever seen are in Seattle.
Oh, I do know that song. That's not terrible.
No, it's not terrible at all.
No, not at all.
Of course, it's always cloudy there, so how could he see the bluest skies?
That's fair. Well, maybe in that, I think you appreciate them more, right? Like if you've ever been in Europe, and when you get there and all of a sudden you get a blue sky day, it's the most bluest sky you've ever seen. One last real quick note for you. Ringo Starr has received at the age of 80, how old is he, 85, 87?
I don't know.
Taking a look here. 86th birthday. On his birthday itself, he was getting set to have his annual birthday celebration in the park, and the folks from Liverpool University showed up to give him an honorary degree talking about what he has done to put Liverpool on the map, he and obviously his cohorts over the years, and what they've done to represent the culture and to strengthen the heritage of Liverpool. So they came out, flew all the way to L.A., and gave him an honorary doctorate on his 86th birthday.
They just announced the Ringo Starr's All-Star Band Tour.
Mm-hmm.
They got about like 8 days. When you're 86 years old, you're just not going on a 200-city tour. It's doing about 8 dates, get in, get out. That's Ringo Starr.
Do you think he still loves it, or do you think that it's the only way he's ever lived his entire life, and so you got to do it?
Yeah.
I'd love to know. I'd love to pick that dude's brain.
And you know there's not many more concerts left to do when you're 86 years old.
This is true.
Time now for Rock Talk. Rock Rank.
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 My guess this was a struggle for you today, Brian, to narrow this one down to 5.
It's impossible, and so I just went with the 5 that I felt at the moment I wrote this list down. If you asked me to do it right now, it might look a little different.
Your top 5 songwriters of all time.
And again, with my love of music, with everyone's love of music, a lot of times it's just the band themselves, right? But then there are people who transcend, who write songs not only for themselves, but then write songs that literally the whole world sings, that are covered by everyone.
Count, or is it just
Well, that's just it. I've only got one partnership on my list, which again was a difficult decision, right? But I'm talking about my 5 favorites. So I put McCartney, Lennon together.
Number 5.
We'll get to them in a minute. They're actually much higher on the list. But, so yeah, I think so. But like, Jagger, Richards, they should count together, right? Because they did it all together. Up to the individual, I think, whoever. So for me, number 5, as you already mentioned.
Number 5.
The first of 2 hometown heroes to appear on this list. For some people, I think that putting him at number 5 might be too high for them. But when we talk about the ubiquity of his songs, the songs he's written for other people, the artists he has mentored and written songs for them, ushered them in, had so many proteges, and the very nature of now how he not only transformed over the course of his career, being excellent at every step, possibly the most tireless musician who's ever lived in terms of work ethic in the studio, cranking out music, so prolific, and having hits at every level and every stage of his career. For me, as of right now, today, number 5 greatest songwriter of all time would have to be Prince.
Wow.
You can't, the level of innovation.
Playing to the local crowd, aren't you?
Well, I mean, see, I used to do that with this list, but you guys said, no, just your favorites. Prince mattered to me. Prince had hits at every level. And when you go back and look at what had been happening to music prior to the advent of Prince, no, he didn't invent weird, icy new wave funk, but he took elements and put them together in ways that had never existed before. And certainly for the course of the 80s, wrote some of the most lasting, enduring, influential music of the entire decade, but continued to operate at a very high level, always be sophisticated, never stay in one spot for too long, and he could do all of it. He could sit down quietly at a piano and break your heart into a million pieces, or he could have the most jacked up, crazy, huge stage filled with a choir and 18 musicians, and you'd never take your eyes off him no matter what else was going on. I have no problem putting Prince at number 5.
Number 4.
Number 4. This one's going to make me sound like a bit of an old fuddy-duddy, but when you consider the list of hits that this guy cranked out over the course of many, many decades, Burt Bacharach comes in at number 4 for me.
Nice.
I'm telling you, you might be like, really, Burt Bacharach? But the songs that he did, Please Stay, Baby It's You, which was a hit for 5 different groups. I just don't know what to do with myself, which would go on to be huge. Make It Easy on Yourself. Only Love Can Break a Heart, not to be confused with Neil Young's song. It would go on and on throughout the 60s. Close to You, The Carpenters, perhaps you've heard of it. Lots of people had a hit with that. Anyone who's had a heart, Wives and Lovers, Walk On By, A House Is Not a Home. The list goes on and on. He was sophisticated. He brought a level of sophistication to crossover pop that had not existed in that way before. And it was interesting. Musicians loved him. People loved him. Everybody could do his songs. Of the pop loungy world, he was the Bob Dylan. He is one of the all-time greats. Burt Bacharach at
also
number 4.
made an appearance in the Austin Powers movie.
Correct, and rightfully so. I mean, think about that. He did the song The Look of Love. He did so many massive standards of the day, and there's not many people you can say of who were that good, that influential, and that widely covered for that long.
Number 3.
What do we got? I lost my sheet here. Hang on one second. There we go. Oh, well, number 3, we just got done talking about him. I don't know what I could say about him that hasn't been said a million times, but for me,
Robert Zimmerman.
It is Robert Zimmerman, Bob Dylan. And I mean, it's often consensus that he's number 1 on most of these critics lists that come out in terms of influence, in terms of how many people covered him, in terms of being the defining voice of a generation. And I can't argue with any of that. Bob Dylan at number 3, even though he's probably not my favorite on this list, I got no problem with somebody who would want to call him number 1.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Number 2.
McCartney Lennon. I mean,
number 1.
And most people would say number 1. And from a practical standpoint, if we were to back all the way up and look at it with a completely objective lens, right? Yes, the most influential, the most important, the most covered.
She's not a girl who misses much. Do. Oh yeah. How can you argue with do? Oh yeah.
But see, I'm not mad at that kind. I just said Burt Bacharach was my 4th favorite singer-songwriter of all time. The Beatles were innovative, approachable. Again, everybody at every level. They wrote incredibly complex, sophisticated songs, and even the simple sounding songs are trickier than they seem. They had that ability, because that's what a songwriter does, right? It's not just a matter of then articulating the song. You're writing this piece that other people could then take and do what they want with. And I think Yesterday, or what's the song that's the number 1 most covered song of all time? Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with their enduring quiet. And again, the only reason they're not at number 1 is because I've been asked to make this my list, and I've got one person whose music means more to me than the Beatles.
Number 1.
David Bowie. And to the average person, you're like, really, the guy who did China Girl, Suffragette City? It's so much deeper than that. But again, this is really a fan's take on this one at number 1. I think most people would go with Dylan or the McCartney-Lennon combo. But for me, it's Bowie at number 1. But I mean, there are some very, very big also-rans that are on the honorable mention list that could just as easily have been in the top 3, 4, 5.
Including Reggie and Jughead from the Archies.
Exactly. There it was.
You ever heard of the song, My Heart Went Bang, Shang-a-Lang, Bang, Shang-a-Lang, bang, shang-a-lang, bang, bang.
See, but there is a simplicity to it that makes, I mean, what are we talking about here when we talk about what makes a songwriter great? Their ability to reach the most people, their ability to cut through the noise and put their finger on exactly what that juncture in space-time is like from a cultural and historical perspective. What makes it, is it the enduring nature of their songs, that they've stuck around for so long? What is it that really makes a great songwriter? And so just super quick, I mean, Jagger Richards, their songwriting partnership outlasted any of these others that we've talked about in terms of the length of it. But you can look at Carole King and Jerry Goffin, who wrote dozens. Tin Pan Alley is what it is because, or pardon me, Brill Building, because of what they did. But Aretha Franklin, Paul Simon, Stevie Wonder, Joni Mitchell, Neil Young, Ray Charles, these are all people that deserve to be considered. What's that?
Christine McVie.
Exactly. Again, her volume isn't there, but every one of her songs that made it onto a Fleetwood Mac, she was the secret weapon in Fleetwood Mac, and everybody should know that.
Yeah. It's always good to see you.
Always good to see you, too.
It's a great list.
How was your lunch?
It was very good. I had avocado, some chicken barbecue.
I just asked because people are going to ask.
They are going to ask.
They're going to ask, and I want to be able to give them accurate information from deep inside the Commonwealth.
By the way, Oak, next week,
yeah,
and I'm sure Common will want to participate in this one as well because he's got some good ones. We're going to narrow it down from songwriters to actual lyrics, like individual lyrics, your top 5 lyrics of all time.
Oh man, that's going to be.
Yeah, I need to start working on it.
Not the songs.
No,
like
I get what you mean. Like a line. Like a mic drop kind of line that just absolutely flattens you. I get it. Also, next week, I will give you an update. I might don't know if you know, but Paul Charchian moved to Utah.
Yes, he did.
I've not had a chance to see his new digs, but all that changes this weekend.
You're moving to Utah.
I'm not moving to Utah. Absolutely
You're moving him
not.
to church.
No, but I am going out to see him and visit him this weekend, but I'll be back in time to join you next week for Rock Talk.
Sounds great. We'll take a break, come back. That's Brian. Oh, by the way, the podcast can be found.
Oh, on the free iHeartRadio app. The Brian Oak Show, episode 588, just dropped today.
And you can get swag, too.
Are you looking for a bucket hat? I'm going to bring you. You can wear that out on the golf course, the Brian Oak Show bucket hat.
I would love it. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
Brian Oak. Mark Rosen joins us next year in The Fan.
Mark Rosen joins the Common Man next.
Give me more drugs!
On The Fan.
From the 1